Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making something festive and fun for St. Patrick's Day, a little shamrock mug. If you've seen my other videos, I make these for every occasion to decorate our play kitchen. This is a quick and easy project that's perfect for play kitchens or seasonal decor, and I hope it might bring you a little bit of luck. So bring your hooks and your yarn and let's get started. To make this project, we're going to need yarn in green. I have two shades of green as well as brown as well for the coffee, and this is light yarn. I used a 3mm hook throughout. We're also going to need stitch marker, a needle, scissors, and a little bit of stuffing as well. Before we start crocheting, I just want to explain my original mug is the one on the right side, so the one with a dark green base with a dark handle. I decided to switch it around and do a light green base and a light handle. So it is the opposite of the chart that will be showing you. So just keep that in mind. You can do this in any color, but you just have to keep in mind when you're doing the chart that your colors are different in the chart. So it's easy, you can easily mix up your colors, so just be careful of that. Okay, so we're finally ready to crochet. I'm starting my mug in a light green. As I said, just to reinstate, just to make it clear, my chart, I made it in the dark green, so just be careful of that. But we're going to do 6 single crochet in a magic circle in the green color of your choice. So I just did 3 single crochet. This is my 4th, 5th single crochet, and the 6th single crochet. Then I'm going to grab my tail and pull to close up the hole. So for round 2, we're going to do increase. That means we're going to do 2 single crochet in each of the stitch round. So we're going to insert our hook in the first stitch. I like to put my tail kind of over so I can crochet over to make it nice and secure. This is my first single crochet. I like to put a stitch marker to make sure I keep track of where I am. And I'll go back in the same stitch to make my increase. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch. My second stitch, I'll do the same thing. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. Third stitch, 1 single crochet, going back for a second single crochet, try again. I like to pull my tail again, make sure I close the hole, and since I crocheted over it after that, I don't have any problem of my magic ring coming undone, excuse me. And this is my 4th stitch. I'm going back for 2 single crochet in the 4th stitch, 2 single crochet in the 5th stitch, and then my last stitch, again 2 single crochet, and at the end of this round we'll be at a total of 12 stitches. So for round 3 we'll be repeating a pattern of 1 single crochet followed by an increase all around. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, place my stitch marker. In my second stitch I'm going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the second stitch. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet followed by 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and an increase in my last stitch. At the end of this round we will be at 18 stitches. For round 4, it's another increase round. This time we're going to start by 2 single crochets followed by our increase. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. In the third stitch we're going to do an increase, so 1 going back for 2. In our next stitch we start that over again, so 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 in the next one. Again, 1 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next, 2 single crochet in the next. Can repeat that pattern around, and at the end of round 4 we will be at a count stitch of 24. For round 5 we'll be doing 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, and our fourth stitch we're doing an increase. So 1 stitch, 1 single crochet, excuse me, going back for a second single crochet in the fourth stitch. We start that pattern again, 1, 2, 3 single crochet followed by an increase, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. One more time, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and our increase in the next stitch. At the end of round 5 we'll now be at a count stitch of 30. Round 6 will be increasing again. This time we'll be doing 4 single crochet followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch. In our fifth stitch we're doing an increase. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second. And we do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochet. And in the next stitch we're going to be doing an increase. So 1, going back for 2. One more time, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and 4 single crochet, followed by an increase, 2 single crochet in the next stitch. At the end of round 6, our stitch count will be at 36 stitches. For round 7, we'll be increasing one last time by doing 5 single crochets, followed by an increase. So we'll be doing 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in the fifth stitch, making sure I have 5, and now 6 stitch. That means we do an increase, so 1 single crochet, going back for 2 single crochet in the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by increase, 1 and 2, and again 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. At the end of round 7, our stitch count will be at 42 stitches. So for round 8, we'll be crocheting in the back loops only. So if you're looking at your work, you can see this loop here that closest to you, that's the front loop, while the one that's furthest away from you is the back loop. So insert your hook. So if you insert from the front to the middle, that's the front loop. But if you insert your hook from the middle to the back, from the middle to the back here, that's the back loop. So we want to insert it in the middle to the back. Make sure we're just crocheting in the back loops only, and we'll be doing a row of single crochets in the back loops only. So we'll be keeping our stitch count at 42 for this round. So we're just crocheting around our piece, 1 stitch, 1 single crochet per stitch in the back loops only. Now for rounds 9 till 16, we're gonna follow the chart and repeat it around. This chart is available on my blog, I will link it below. And just to reinstate as well, I'm doing the opposite of the chart. So on the chart, the dark color is my light color, and the light color on the chart will be my dark color. Just to make it less confusing as we go along, I'm gonna label my light color and the dark color on the chart as color A, and my dark color and the light color on the chart as color B. So I'm going to say color A and then change to color B just to make it a little bit less confusing. So for my chart, just to explain, each kind of square is a stitch, and in this case it's single crochet. So each square is a single crochet, and for this pattern they'll be crocheted in the back loops only. So each square is a stitch in the back loop only, and you repeat the section of 6 until you've completed the round around your mug. For round 9, it just tells me to continue with the color that I have and crochet around. So we'll be keeping our count stitch at 42. Just doing again another row of single crochet in the back loops only. So here I've got 2 stitches left until the end of row 9, and I can see that row 10 is a change in color. So I'm gonna get ready to introduce my new color. I like to grab the tail of my new color and crochet it for a couple of stitch over, just to kind of secure it so I don't have to weave it in later. So I crochet over it, and for the very last stitch, that's where I'm going to do my color change. So I insert my hook in my stitch, again back loop only, yarn over, but instead of finishing the stitch as usual in my regular color, I'm going to grab my new color and finish the stitch this way. So for row 10, it tells me to continue just its line, so that means every single stitch in this row is made with a new color. So color B, doing 1 single crochet per stitch for row 10, again in the back loop only with color B, our new color. So for round 11, we're going to follow a pattern of color B, then switch to color A. So 1 stitch in color B, followed by 1 stitch in color A, followed by 2 stitch in color B, 1 and 2, followed by 1 stitch in color A, and 1 stitch in color B. And we start that again, and it starts with color B. So our next stitch will be a color B again. Then switch to color A, followed by 2 stitches in color B, 1, 2, going back, 1 stitch in color A, and finish with 1 stitch in color B. Just one more time, 1 stitch in color B, we start over the pattern, change to color A for 1 stitch, change to color B for 2 stitches, 1, 2, change to color A for 1 stitch, and color B again to finish, 1 stitch, but then you start over again your pattern with color B. So you continue that pattern around. So we starting row 12 with 2 color B, followed by 1 color A, follow one color B, and we finish by 2 color A. And we do this again, these are in the back loops only, single crochets in the back loops only. So with our color B, do 1 single crochet, next stitch 1 single crochet in color B, change our color A, then 1 stitch in color A, change again, color B, 1 stitch in color B, change again for color A, and 2 stitch in color A, 1 and 2, and we'll switch back to color B, and we start over that pattern. So 1 single crochet in color B, second one in color B, switch the yarn to color A, one single crochet in color A, switch the yarn to color B, one single crochet in color B, switch the yarn to color A, and two single crochet in color A. And again, oops, got too many tails. First stitch in color B, second stitch in color B, change, next stitch in color A, next stitch in color B, so this one is B, next stitch color A, and another one in color A. And I should have changed to color B to continue. Yeah, and I fixed that right there. So here I'm at the end of row 12. I have one last stitch to do. The beginning of row 13 is back to color B. So I'm going to do my finish with a color change. I've got my color A and I'm switching to color B. So I'm ready for row 13. And for row 13, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 for color B, switch for 1 color A and 2 for color B. That's 1, 2, 3 in color B, switch our yarn to color A, 1 stitch. Again, this is all in the back loops only. 1 stitch in color A, and we finish with 2 stitches in color B. Here we don't need to change our yarn again because it starts again the pattern with 3 in color B. 1, 2, 3. Change our yarn color A. 1 stitch in color A, followed by 2 stitches in color B. 1 and 2. So one more time. 1, 2, 3. Using color B, switch to color A for 1 stitch, and switch back to color B for 2 stitches. And here you have to be careful because it's about 5 stitches apart when you bring back your color A. Be sure that your float inside of your color A is a little bit loose, otherwise it has a tendency to kind of change the shape of the mug and kind of make it divot a little bit in the center. So just make sure you have a loose float, if you will, on the inside. Okay, so I have 2 more rows of changing colors, and for row 14 we'll be doing color B followed by 2 color A followed by 1 color B followed by 2 color A's. We start by 1 color B, change back to A. We're doing 2 stitches, 1, 2 in color A, switch our yarn to color B, 1 stitch in color B, switch our yarn to color A, and 2 stitches in color A. Then we switch again, 1 in B, change again, 2 stitches in A, 1, 2, change again, 1 stitch in B, change again, and 2 stitches in A. So one more time, we switch back to color B for 1 stitch, switch back to color A for 2 stitches, 1, 2, chain back to color B for 1 stitch, change back to color A for 2 stitches. You can continue that around, and I'll meet you here for round 15. So just before we do row 15, here I'm finishing row 14, and row 14 was a color change. My yarn A, we're going back to yarn B for the beginning of 15. So I'm going to do a color change before we're ready to start row 15. For row 15, we're going to do 2 in B, followed by 1 in A, followed by 1 in B, followed by 1 in A, followed by 1 in B. So I just did 2 in B, do 1 in A, change back to B, 1 in B, change back to A, 1 in A, 1 in A, change back to B, and that last one in B. We don't need to change because we're starting over the pattern with B. So 1, 2 in B, change, 1 in A, change, 1 in B, change, 1 in A, change, and 1 in B. Again, starting over the pattern, 2 in B, 1, 2, change to A for 1 stitch, change to B for 1 stitch, change to A for 1 stitch, and change to B for 1 stitch. And you can repeat that around. You can keep, for row 16, you can keep yarn B on your hook. And we'll be doing 1 row of single crochet in every stitch with yarn B. So here, 1 single crochet in the back loops only with yarn B, just every stitch the same color. So here we're getting to the end of round 16, and we'll switch back to our A color for the rest of the mug. So here we can switch back to A to start round 17. And from now on, we're not going to need yarn B anymore. So I'm going to crochet round 17 over yarn B for a little bit, and then I'll cut it just so I don't have to weave in the ends later. And for round 17, we're continuing in the back loops only, and we're doing 5 single crochets followed by a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if I can get it. And in the next 2 stitches, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, insert my hook in the next stitch, yarn over. I have 3 loops on my hook, and yarn over the whole 3 to do a decrease. I'm going to stop here, cut yarn B, don't need it anymore, and continue my round. Don't need to chart anymore. So we start that pattern again. So 1 single crochet in the back loops only, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet. We do a decrease, so insert your yarn in the first stitch, insert yarn in another stitch, yarn over all 3. One more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're doing our decrease in the next 2 stitches. I'll meet you back here for round 18, which is our final round for the mug body. Okay, so we've been crocheting a whole mug through the back loops only. So for round 18, we're going to switch it up. Instead of doing the back loops only, we're going to do the front loops only. So in the front loops only, we're going to single crochet all around. From the last round, we should be at a count stitch of 36. So we'll be keeping our count stitch of 36 by doing 1 single crochet in the front loops only in each of our stitches around. So at the end of round 18, this is what your mug should look like. Now you're ready to cut off your yarn. You need just a little bit of a tail. And I like to finish with an invisible finish. So I thread my yarn through a needle. And then, so I'm currently working this stitch. I'm going to skip the next one and insert my needle through the next stitch from the back. And I'll go back in the middle of my working stitch to create a fake loop, to create a fake stitch, which creates, and you can pull a little bit, which creates an invisible stitch, an invisible finish. I'm going to weave my yarn a couple of times, and then we're ready to move on to the handle. To make the handle, it starts a little bit like the mug. So we're going to start by doing a magic ring, wrapping around our yarn around our finger, grabbing the tail, twisting around, chain 1, and in the magic circle, we're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we pull the tail to close the hole. And for rounds 2 to 20, we're just going to do 6 single crochet per round. So 1 single crochet per stitch, keeping our stitch count at 6 for rounds 2 to 20. So we're just going to create a long tube basically to create our handle. So 1 single crochet in each of our stitch around, keeping our stitch count at 6 per round. So at the end of round 20, you can cut your yarn and you're going to have a handle looking like this. Just a long tube basically that we're going to attach to the mug. And the last thing to do before we assemble everything is our coffee. And to do the coffee, we just repeat the mug instruction from rounds 1 to 6 in a dark brown color. Okay, now we are ready to assemble everything. And to do so, we're going to thread our yarn into a needle and go back into a mug. And you can see there's back loops left from round 18 when we crocheted in the front loops. That created a row of back loops left. So we're going to go through the back loops. Oops, I got my yarn a little tangle over here. So we're going to grab one of those back loops and stitch our coffee through those back loops all around the mug. So you can do that till you're about 3/4 of the way down. Then we're going to stuff a mug and before we close everything up. Once we stuff the mug and we finish sewing the coffee to the top of the mug, Last thing to do is to attach the handle to the side of the mug. I like to add my mug where we change our colors, so you can see it leaves a little bit of a jagged edges, if you will, on the mug. So I like to put my handle right there so it nicely conceals that. And I'll be attaching the top as well as the weaving my yarn, my extra yarn through the mug to attach the bottom as well. And once your handle is nice and secure, that's basically your mug finished. You can complete it by adding a little milk swirl, creating a kind of a latte. I do that on several of my mugs by doing a slip stitch or an embroidery stitch on the top of the coffee. Or another example you can see on my channel, I use a cat slicker brush and kind of create a steam as well on the top of the coffee. Or you can leave it plain like I did today, so it's completely up to you. But that's it. That's your Shamrock mug all finished and ready for St. Patrick's Day. I hope you enjoy crocheting this project with me and it might bring you a little bit of luck for the season. And if you like this tutorial, please don't forget to comment and subscribe. That would help my channel tremendously. I have lots of seasonal projects coming as well as play kitchen projects, so make sure you turn on the notification to be alerted for that. If you are looking for more holiday mugs, I have a few tutorials on my channel as well as a lot more on my blog. And if you're looking one for a specific occasion, it's probably on my blog. But if you don't find one, let me know because I'd love to create it for you. You can find the full written pattern linked in the description below as well as the chart. And thank you again so much for watching and happy crocheting. Oh, and also lastly, let me know which mug do you prefer, light version or dark version. Please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.